And welcome back to the Manuchehri Show. Thank you, Ainsley, again. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. I didn't realize we hadn't talked in quite a while. We're obviously very busy people, but I'm glad that we reconnected and that our listeners get to know more about you. So we're taking calls now, correct?
We are, and the lines are already full. And some of
Yay.
us, some of them, actually, I should say, have been waiting around during the interview with Ainsley.
And thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
we really
super
appreciate
cool.
that.
So the number is 877-825-8828 for the Marie Manuchehri Show. Those watching online, yes, we stopped one item and then started another just because I can. All right, we'll just go with that.
Because Benny has to edit things because Ainsley and I have a little chat. Well, we all had a little chat afterwards. So he has to edit.
It's good. Just to break things up a little bit. So it's Elon from Santa Cruz. Elon, are you there?
I am.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Elon.
Yes, hi.
I can't.
Hello?
Do you not hear?
I
Oh,
can't
wait.
hear.
1 second. We'll do this.
Oh.
Is that better?
Oh, now I can hear you.
That's my fault. See,
Hello.
so many buttons to push. My bad.
Hi, Elon. How are you?
Hello, Benny. Hello, Marie.
Hello. What can we do for you?
Hi. I am so curious to know your thoughts on the energetic reasons behind hearing loss.
Oh, that's a really, really good question. So my perception is that people who have hearing loss, and it doesn't matter what age it starts, and I know who you are, don't I? Are you calling incognito?
You don't,
Really?
you do not know who I am.
Really? Oh, you have such
But I love that you think you know me.
I think I know you.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
well,
I think
do
I know
follow
you.
you on Instagram.
Oh,
Otherwise,
thank you. That's very kind of you. So that's interesting, right? That's very cool. I love that. Hopefully you have a career in the spiritual realm because you are meant to.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you.
You're welcome. So any type of hearing loss, it's all about not listening to the divine, your intuition, your spirit guides. So people who have hearing loss are very intuitive, and they're blocking their intuition.
Interesting.
Yeah. Does that make sense, or is that helpful?
And it absolutely makes sense.
And so intuition is this really weird thing where it absolutely doesn't make sense. It's very clear. I'm sure she would be okay with me sharing this. Hopefully she will be, because it was in a class. I had a student who saw, she was doing a reading because when I teach, I have people go into breakout rooms and then they do exercises together, which I am thrilled with. That really works over Zoom. It's quite amazing. And she saw these two kind of weird images. One was blue, one was purple, and she didn't know what it meant for the person she was reading for. It made no sense. And so she probably also didn't really dive into it because sometimes when you get a vision or something auditory or, some sort of clairsentient feeling, if it seems odd, empathic people are so nice and so polite and also don't always think as well of themselves as they should. We pull back like, oh, I must be wrong, or I don't know what I'm talking about, or that's weird, but I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. And so for whatever reason, we don't really allow sometimes for the intuition to fully manifest. However, the next day, this person was at a grocery store and she saw the very same weird image. They happened to be dog toys. One was purple, one was blue. And she said to me, what do you think that was? I go, that person that you were reading for needs to go get a dog. She goes, oh, of course. Actually, a dog would be perfect for her. So that's why sometimes when really strong intuitive people, and if you're really strongly intuitive, that means you want to be intuitive on earth. You want it. You programmed yourself to have that energy and that awareness and that consciousness into your body before you reincarnated. Even picking family members, like I chose to be in a family where there's generations of intuitives in the family that very few people talked about, but I was told about it, especially when I realized I was an intuitive. My uncles, who are all deceased now, called me, and they never called me ever, and said, oh my gosh, you are just like Grandma Lucinda. I'm like, which was my great grandmother, who was a Cherokee Indian who I never met. I don't even know her Native American name because that was not her Native American name, obviously. So at any rate, that is the reason for hearing loss. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And then just in general, if as I continue my practice, is there a way to slow down hearing loss?
Well,
or is it something that
Well, what we'll start using a what if question. What if my hearing is happy? Don't use health. Don't talk about loss anymore. I mean, for our conversation, that was good, but make sure, because the throat chakra is so powerful and you have a lot of alignment in your being. So people who have a lot of alignment, they get kind of whacked faster because they're more conscious, right? So the universe goes, oh, but you're conscious. You understand this. Whoop, so don't use a lot of negative language if that's not what you want to experience, and start using some what if questions. What if my hearing is happy? Anything can change at any moment. People can heal from anything. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. Nothing matters. Nothing. Anything can change and morph and shift to how you really want it to be. But the most important thing for you is when you have intuitive impressions, and maybe you don't always know when you do, be patient. Don't try to rush through them. Have fun with them and start playing with the universe, because you are meant to do that.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much, Marie.
You're
This
welcome.
is a delight. I'm so glad I got a chance to chat with you.
Me too. I'll see you on Instagram.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.
If you're not cool, you're not on the gram. Got to be on the gram if you want to be cool.
Instagram.
Kids are doing these
I
things.
really love Instagram. Well, you're a kid.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, you are.
all right. I don't know the answer to that one right now.
I should point out we only have one seat left in any of our fall classes, and this one is in financial freedom. We, of course, do have seats available for winter psychic coaching and energy healing coaching. We have space left. We have like 23 seats left in each one of those. But all of the other classes for fall, which start Monday, I start moving into my fall schedule of teaching. Other than that one spot left in financial freedom, we are sold out. And for those of you who have signed up for our sold out Greece retreat, Jen has a little call to action for you. Please send us an email to be added to the waiting list. Those of you who want to go, who are not already registered to go. Excuse me, that was my bad. I didn't read out the whole note. So if you are are interested in going to Greece, we will have a waiting list, because some people might have to cancel their trip because it's next summer and a lot can happen between now and then.
Totally.
Okay.
877-825-8828 for the Marie Manuchehri Show. We'll take Anne calling in from Tucson, Arizona. Hi, Anne.
Hi, and thank you so much for taking my call.
Of course, Anne. What can I do for you?
Well, I would like a reading, but my question is, how can I learn to be more sensitive to energy? Like, I clear my chakras and balance them, but I don't feel the difference.
Right.
And the same thing with, people talk about when you walk into a room, you feel this, or, that empath thing that you've been talking about all morning. And I meditate every day. In fact, I'm up to number 603 days in a row.
Very proud of you.
Yeah.
You're obviously putting a lot of energy into it, but here's the issue. First of all, you are an empath and you've done an excellent job cleaning your energy. It looks fabulous, just so you know. Wonderful. You're taking energy into every chakra. And then I would call it kind of like a wash when it comes to your root. There's not a leak, but you're not absorbing. But the rest of your chakras, you're taking in tons of energy. So you're doing great work. Here's your problem. You are a very mental person. You listen to your brain. You're glued to your brain. You think it is the tool to help with everything, because that's how most of us are raised as children, that, listen to your brain. It has all the solutions. It has zero solutions, zero. It lies constantly to all of humanity. The only time the brain is efficient and effective is when we're present. And we're supposed to be present when we're doing tasks like putting gas in the car, or going for a walk with your dog, or vacuuming. When you're doing present moment tasks, the brain is there to help you. Like, oh, you missed that spot when you're vacuuming, or you need to change the vacuum bag, or don't put diesel in your unleaded car, and of course,
that's not a good one.
Right. It's not a good one. And and obviously a lot of humans have done this, because what do? Everything's color coded at the gas station. Really smart gas stations have the diesel not even connected to any of the
different pump.
Right. Totally different pump, because we are not present at all. So what you have to do when you're meditating, this is your homework assignment, and you never have to do anything I say, by the way. I want you to focus on your feet. Your job is to get as much energy, because the brain has its own energy system, like the heart muscle has its own electrical pulsation that allows it to work extremely well, other than other organs. I mean, it's extremely obvious in the heart muscle. The brain has trillions of neurotransmitters. So that's its energy system. And when you pull extra energy into your brain to analyze and process everything in life, which you do, in my opinion, then you're exhausting the rest of your body. So I want you to visualize and feel or somehow create that you're allowing the particles that your brain does not need. It doesn't need those extra particles that makes it tired, that they're going to go hang out on your feet. So rest in your feet, wiggle your toes all day long, but especially when you're meditating. And then you're going to start to feel the energy because you're doing a great job, but you have to stop. The brain is not where you should be. No one should be in their brain.
Right. That I know.
Okay.
When really working, I was very analytical, very left brain, but I so love my spiritual journey that I'm on. But it goes back there.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with being intelligent and having great intellect. You can.
No, that's not intellect.
Well, I'm just saying it's normal to have that and to know how to function in the world in really great, profound, healthy ways and be highly spiritual. You just have to leave your brain alone. It will work 100 times better if you ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
So hang out in your feet as far away from your brain as possible, as much as you can
my feet.
throughout the day. And then when things change, let me know. Okay.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Appreciate you too.
Yeah, thanks, Ann, for calling in from Tucson, Arizona, 877-825-8828. Let's take now Marcy calling in from the Bellevue area. So local gal. Hi, Marcy. Marcy, hello. Marcy, are you there? Okay, well, last time, Marcy, how about now? Okay.
We'll go to our next
put Marcy
person.
on. Hold on. We'll be right back with her. And maybe we'll have Jen take a look. It's Amanda from South Carolina. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. What can I
called in?
Oh, go ahead.
I've called into your show before and I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. What can I do for you today?
So today I'm hoping you can help me with something with my sweet dog.
Oh.
I think she is reaching the end of her life. And I'm not sure how long.
How old is she?
I'm not exactly sure because I adopted her.
And you're very nice to do so. And someday I'm going to talk a lot about dogs and spay and neutering them because I listened to this really interesting podcast that my dog's trainer sent me because Charles and I have been having this interesting dance because he's a big dog. So big dogs can't be neutered until they're like 18 months old. So I passed the 18 months and I'm still like, I don't want to do that to him. I don't want to do it. And he's such a good dog. He's just such a good dog. And my intuition, I just wasn't totally clear. And I'm one of those people, I'll wait until I get clarity. I'm okay waiting, right? But of course he started to, and I do have a point with this, he started to, hump a little bit more than he should have been humping at doggy daycare.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And although the trainer was like, don't worry, we can work with it. It's no problem. She did also say, he's really not having fun. I go, really? Because he has so much fun at home. He never, does that humping experience with Mariam's dog and, stuff like that. So anyway, I pulled him out of doggy daycare while I kind of made the decision. And then the trainer, and I made the decision. And then the trainer sent me, which is not to have surgery for him. The trainer sent me this podcast about breeders all over the United States. Breeders did some research. So actually some scientists did some research and they used breeders about spay and neutering dogs. And they did research with 50,000 dogs.
Wow.
It's a huge research. I've listened to these two famous veterinarians who are also professors and things of that nature and published. And they said that the removal of gonads, which is the sex hormones in dogs, actually makes them very, very high for all kinds of diseases, cancers, joint disease, everything. And no one has done any research. When we decided to spay and neuter dogs and cats at a young age, in the 70s, of course, we did it because we didn't want to have all these, roaming animals that don't have anyone to care for them. So it was a good decision. I understand why we did it, but we didn't do any research about how will this affect their body and their health and their healing. So what I'm just trying to say is I think dogs would live longer if they had their gonads. And so that's why I always ask how old a dog is. And most dogs are neutered and spayed, especially if you adopt them from a shelter because they're trying to reduce the population of unwanted pets because that's heartbreaking. So How old is your dog?
I'm not sure, but
that's right. So I think your dog's right around 10 or 11.
okay.
So that's why I think you're having this awareness. And you're very, very, very wise. One of the things that can prolong an animal's life is just feeding them very high quality food, like human grade food. Raw food is also, really, really good for most dogs and cats. Everybody's a little bit different, right? So I'm telling you this so when you get your next creature, because you are a creature person, and you will know what to do with your pet as time goes on. You're excellent. You're a wonderful pet owner. But when you get your next person, or because they are like people to me, of course, maybe try to get a dog that isn't spayed or neutered. They can do vasectomies on male dogs, and they can also just do a partial hysterectomy, leave the ovaries, but only take the uterus so that, we don't have female dogs having menses, because that's probably not any fun for the dog owner. But yes, I do believe that you are sensing your dog getting tired and aging.
Yes, and the vet and I'm trying to decide if I should if it's the end of her life or close to make that call.
I don't think you have to make that call right now. So I think you're moving in that direction, but I think that she's going to have like bursts of energy and be happy and then be tired for a few days and then have bursts of energy. I think you can wait longer. I believe the rule is, if I recall well, and it's so weird, I've never had a dog before, Charles, and I know all this weird dog information. It's very bizarre. If you make a list of 10 things that they love to do and you get down to 2, that's kind of a sign,
Yeah.
Right. So I know she's tired right now, but she's going to perk up in a couple of days.
Yeah. And what if I can't physically keep her anymore?
What do you mean?
Because of my living situation.
And so what's happening with your living situation?
Well, I can't keep her where I'm living anymore. And so I need to move. And I'm deciding if she can, if I need to find a place where I can take her. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you will find a place. If you want to move, you will find a place. And so did they change the rules where you live?
Yes. And because she's getting older, it's complicating things more. And so they're not willing to deal with that anymore.
Well, that's weird and not very nice. Honestly, everybody ages. This is not a permanent reality.
Yeah.
Everything gets old here for now. As we change our consciousness, things will be very, very different. So I guess what I want you to do is just stop worrying about this, because notice how it lowers your energy quite significantly. So I want you to just be in high energy and trust that the universe is going to take wonderful care of you and wonderful care of your beautiful dog, and that everything's going to be fine. Don't try to figure this out. Just stay in happy energy and then allow the universe to surprise you. And for everyone who's listening, that's actually how you solve every problem ever. That is the formula. And so we all should be practicing this formula, even on little problems, so we can be very good at it when the bigger problems show up. Okay?
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, have a beautiful day and keep us posted.
All right. Thank you. You too.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thanks very much for joining the show. Time for one more. Quickly, we'll sneak in.
I know I was a little long-winded.
That's okay. No big deal. Valerie from Monterey, California. Hi, Valerie.
Hello. Gosh,
Valerie.
happy I could sneak in real quick. Okay. So I'm in a life transition.
Okay.
My father passed. I am an empath. I have a tendency to bob in other people's wakes. But I see this as an opportunity for me and another. Anyway, so my body is really at a low right now. So I'd welcome any input on that, or
and
also
what do you mean by
on.
What did you mean by bobs in other people's wakes? Is that what you said?
Being an empath, I tend to reverberate with other. I tend to. It's harder to stay grounded. So I'd love a reading on maybe my body or how to transition into my own power as.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the patriarch has gone.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sorry for the loss, but it's actually really good for you and good for him too. It's a good thing. I would recommend the Old Souls Guidebook by Ainsley MacLeod to help you with that. But what's very important for empathic people is they have to stay in their own lanes. The reason why your energy is bobbing, and you do have a large leak in the root chakra, but of course you've also had a loss, and that could be contributed to that, is because empathic people are like nosy and they're trying to like help even complete strangers or people who live like in totally different countries, and they have to stay in their own lane and knock it off. Knock it off. Like, don't do it. Stay in your own lane. You're responsible for your energy. So stay in your feet. Remind yourself that everyone has spirit guides and archangels and everyone's a powerful soul, and you don't need to help take care of anyone or go visit and overlook and oversee things. You can just stay in your body and allow your own authentic power to grow and flourish here on earth so that you can then be helpful in a way that is that magnifies your precious energy. And Benny's playing the music, so I have to get off the air. Thank you, everyone, for listening today. Thank you, Ainsley, for coming on the show. We'll be back next Thursday. Thank you, Benny and Jen, for all your wonderful work. Joyful blessings and fall madly in love with yourself. Bye-bye for now.